Hello, my name is Amanda and I'm an artist and I'm here to talk to you about social media. But when I was editing this video, I realized that this video is everywhere, so I apologize in advance. I'm not a perfect person. If you want the stats, head to the 2-minute mark around there. The stats are there, you can look at that and then leave. That's completely fine. Okay, enjoy this video. Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and you might know me as Amanda's Work. I make artist stuff everywhere from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I was on Tumblr. I still am on Tumblr. What do you mean? I'm on all the social media. I know a little bit. I've been doing this for maybe about 5 years, so I feel like I can talk about it. But anyways, this whole video is going to be about social media, what it's like being an artist, what it's like, stuff like that. You know the big deal, okay? But basically, January it was all about this buddy here, my art journal every day for the month of January series, and I've done it on TikTok for the past 5 years, and recently these past 2 years I started doing them on Instagram, and this year I started on YouTube. So I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about, posting the same thing on 3 different platforms, highs and lows of each platform, what I found worked, what I found didn't work, and just my thoughts and what I find is the best right now for making content as an artist on social media in 2025. So I have my script here, I have my laptop ready, and yeah, let's go right into it because we have a lot to talk about and I don't really know what even I'm gonna say most of the time. I know that I know a lot of things and I have things to show you, and you can come to your own conclusions from that. Because social media is such a big thing. There's no right pathway to do it, and that's the thing. Everything you want is out there. It's attainable. Just the way to get there is going to be different for everyone, and that's what makes it fun, and that's what also makes it really frustrating. So let's just talk about it some more. So here's the stats, here's the screenshots, here's everything, the summary of this. So if you just want to take a look at that, pause and take a look at this, and then we'll go into it. So first up, I have my iPad here as well. First up, we have my TikTok, which TikTok I feel is like that old friend that you keep returning to because once in a while they're really nice and you're like, oh yeah, I remember you. This is why I stick around, because TikTok was my OG platform for art stuff. TikTok is where I started this series, and I feel guilty if I didn't do it because I always have 1 or 2 people that always ask, are you doing it this year? Are you doing the series this year? And I'm like, okay, fine. But TikTok, hands down, is my lowest viewership, and it sucks, but that's just how it is. Also, we all know this. TikTok went through its whole big drama thing this month in January. It had its whole death and resurrection. So of course it's gonna be whack. But even in the past year or so, I have not been posting on TikTok regularly. I post every now and then. I just throw things up if I have something to put on there. But to say that I am constant on TikTok, absolutely not, because I have found that TikTok does not give me the fulfillment that I want in social media. Simple as that. I just choose not to do it. But in 2020, 2021, it was a great time, just not now. I posted the same thing on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube was a little bit different, but I'll talk about it when we get to YouTube. But for TikTok, I would post it around the same time, around, I would say, noon, because I would post on Instagram first at around 10 a.m. and then I'd post at noon for TikTok afterwards. But yeah, the stats are there. The stats are here for you to see. I put it all up here because I feel like the stats, that's what everyone wants. That's what you guys want to see, is all the numbers, okay? But just looking here, my highest views on TikTok was the intro, the first day of January, and it has 5,000 views, which is of course I'm super grateful. 5,000 views, that's amazing. But compared to all the other stuff, it's very low. TikTok is the OG place. I feel like I go back every now and then and I'm yeah, there's still a few people who are there and that are there. I find that TikTok, there's a few people that you're I love you still, they're commenting, they have some engagement there. There's still a little bit of art community there. It's just not where I would like it to be, and I have found it on other platforms instead. So yeah, unfortunately TikTok's been dry for me for a while now, and I think it's been this way for a lot of people, but also I'm not putting in that much effort into it. I feel like I've let it down as well. So there's faults on both ends, but I do find that there are a few people that are still there and that give like a little bit. So I'm very grateful for those people, and they're the reason why I still post on there. Um, but yeah, TikTok. Oh well. So next up, we have YouTube. I posted on Shorts, and YouTube is like YouTube I know has the greatest potential as a Canadian creator, but also YouTube frustrates me probably the most because editing in YouTube is so annoying and there's just so many things about it, like the trending sounds are not the trending sounds I like. The fonts are a bit like weird. But like there's potential there and I know that they will get there one day. Unfortunately, we're just not there yet. I basically had to change how I posted. I had to make things shorter, and also I did not do my voiceovers because the videos that I posted with my voiceovers would do a lot less. Like the engagement was way down compared to videos where I kept it short and I just had like a trending sound on it. So there's like pros and cons to that because it does make your editing a bit easier, but also people want voiceovers, people want like that longer form content, and you can't really do that with shorts. So that's what I mean. I guess like that's the point of it, because if you're gonna make a voiceover, if you're gonna yap, might as well just post a full video on YouTube. But that's what shorts. I'm still trying to navigate like what I want to do with shorts on YouTube because I know it's important, but also I don't really know where it's taking me yet. But here's the stats. If I haven't already put it up yet, come on, editing Amanda. But the stats are here. And this one though, like I only have around 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I got like the same views as on TikTok. On TikTok, I have 30K. So that's like, it just means like YouTube is growing and my TikTok's very stagnant. But my YouTube, I think my highest viewed one, I had over like 11K, which isn't bad for a account that only has 2,000 subscribers, okay? So there's a lot of potential there, and it made me feel a lot better than like posting on TikTok where I wasn't getting the views that I was wanting, but on YouTube it feels like people are seeing my work. The one thing that I'm very iffy about with YouTube though is that engagement as like comments are very difficult because I was not getting the same comments that I was getting on like TikTok. Like I am of course used to negative comments, that's fine. Speak your truth, I guess. But I was getting a lot of spam on YouTube and I still do. I also just get a lot of negativity on YouTube compared to other platforms. Maybe it's just the audiences that the algorithm is putting me out to, but the people on YouTube do not seem to like or just vibe with me as they do on other platforms, which is like something I'm still trying to navigate. And I know that my work will be put out to the people who need to see it, the people who it'll do its thing. Like I trust in everything. Go ahead. But just an observation, I guess, is that YouTube has been a lot more negative compared to other platforms. So it could just be a me thing. Who knows? Okay, and last up, we have Instagram. Instagram has been my girly for the past 2 years just because I find it's the place that I feel the happiest. Like truly, it's a place where I feel like community is gathering. There's a lot of pros and cons to Instagram, of course, we all know this, but Instagram seems like the place to go if you really want to get that like engagement, get that community, get people commenting, and just feel like you're actually talking and like have an audience instead of just like posting things and that's it. I feel like when I post things on Instagram, people actually respond to me and that feels great. Also, I just had the most growth like on this platform. I started around like 28K in January and I ended up with like 30K very easily, and that was my goal. And it was because there were so many people viewing my reels. Also, Instagram changed their format to that 4:5 ratio, and that really worked in my favor because I was posting reels every day and the 4:5 optimizes reels. But yeah, like if you're posting reels every day, people are gonna see it. And I was doing voiceovers and things like I did the voiceover every day, so that worked in my favor too. But it was like you can tell like people are actually seeing it. And I know like Instagram, there's people are very like pushy with the keep it short, have that like tagline and just have it like replay. But for me that never works, and I don't know why, but for me what works is like a 1 minute to a minute and a half type of video, and people will like stick with that. So it's always very like what people give advice to on Instagram doesn't really work for me a lot of the times, but I try it, of course. I experiment with it. But what's been working for me has been reels mixed with some carousels. And I try to keep my videos a bit longer because I think people are getting over with the shortness. They want like longer stuff so that they can connect with people, which makes sense, of course. For me as a viewer, seeing longer stuff like that is what I want to do, right? But the one thing you have to really think about is really being unique, and that's called just like being like authentic, and just don't be afraid to like be a little bit silly, be a little bit cringe with it, because the thing is that everyone's on Instagram all the time and they're consuming a lot, so everybody knows what's fake and everybody knows like the tactics. So you just gotta be real, because that's what will draw people in and what will make people connect with you, is just being a real person, because there's so much going on. Why would I want to see so many things that I've already seen? I want to see something that I can connect to and just feels real. So basically, after posting for 31 days, here's what I've learned after all of this, is that posting every day is very effective. It will like get people to see your stuff, but it is so tiring. It's a lot of work to edit these videos, to do like voiceovers every single day. I know I had people asking me if I would do this series in February, and I was like, no, because I knew I would be burnt out so fast. So like finding a balance of posting every day, if that works for you, I mean, go ahead, but it's not gonna work for me. I already know that. Posting every day doesn't have to be like a huge thing though. You don't need to be posting 2-minute reels every single day. You can, make smaller clips, post like carousel posts. Like those things are totally reasonable to do. And it's about making a plan that works for you. And it does not come immediately. You have to like experiment, you have to play with it, and you have to like find it fun. That's the thing. If social media is something that's really bothering you and it's frustrating you, you need to reevaluate why you're doing it and what you're doing, because you're gonna burn out like immediately. So you gotta change things up. For me personally, moving forward, I know that I want my YouTube to be like a priority for me, and also Instagram. TikTok, I love you, but not right now, okay? Let's take a break. But I know that for me, it's about making longer content that I can really connect with people, and then splicing that up, making shorter stuff from that I can utilize for like shorts and reels. Because let's be real, no one has the time to watch like a 10-15 minute video all the time. Sometimes they need to watch things in like a minute, and that's so fair. We all have really short attention spans, so that's completely fair. Let's do a comparison here where I posted the same page on the same day, and you can see here Instagram, TikTok, and then YouTube. So there's very like a difference in the views, but it's all the same thing. The only difference is on YouTube I didn't have a voiceover, and to say that the voiceover really impacts things, I wouldn't say like extremely. Of course a voiceover does like impact it a bit more. It adds that little bit of like extra like connection to it, but it's like, it's not my fault, it's YouTube's fault. They don't want to accept my voiceovers right now, okay? Like, okay. But like, as you can see, like there is a big difference in the platforms. It's all the same content. It's just the platform that it was posted on. They were all posted around the same time. And yeah, there you go. There it is. There it is for you to figure out, come to your own conclusions. But I hope this video helped you to think about how you will approach your social media tactics in the future. Social media is hard. It's not an easy thing. There's a lot of work to it, and there's just so much info out there about it. So here's my 2 cents in it. From my experience, that's what I've learned so far, and I hope to continue on learning. What are your experiences? What works for you? Have you had the same conclusions as I have? Are things different for you? I would love to know. But yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.